review. So what I'm going to be doing today is sitting down and watching some of the films that I've worked on throughout the term, and we're going to talk about the editing on it and what I did on some of them, since that was my main role on every film that we've done. So I'm just going to play the films now, and I'll probably be in the corner and they're going to be big screen. I'll just pause it when there's anything I want to talk about unexpected. So this first scene with the orange juice it looked a bit weird at first because the shots were fully extended, so it would have him reaching out, grab the glass and put it down. Whereas when I got to it, I did these cuts, so it starts when his hand's moving to go get a cup, and it cuts before it goes fully down and pauses. And when he puts the glass down, it cuts to him obviously moving already. And that's the same with the fridge door and pouring the orange juice. We actually had that originally, so he opened it and poured it, but that just felt too long and a bit boring. So you can see throughout the whole film there's not really much of an orange look. I actually saturated it a bit. Here there's a bit by the bottom left, but that's about all. This scene is see, you can see it's got quite a blue look to it, which goes well with his hoodie. So this was the first unexpected bit in the film, where it obviously looks like he's doing something rather inappropriate, but then it pulls out to be a shake weight, which was a nice little surprise. It was a bit of comedy, which is what most of this film's about. There is actually, you can notice quite a difference from the first scene with the TV and this last one. I did overcolor that to be a bit too blue. It doesn't look bad, it just looks a bit confusing when you compare it to the rest. And so there's some nice filming here. I like the fact that the doors are out of focus and then it's in focus. The camera follows the actor to make it seem more personal, like it's quite a tight environment. He looks through the window. So this hallway, as you can see, is like blood red. So that was a bit of a problem, but we just decided to go for it since it seemed out something like The Shining, like really bright red walls. I think it suits. It's a bit out of place for the rest of the film though. Just looks around. And so there wasn't too much really effects wise, it was colour mainly. That's about all actually. Yeah, that's about it for this. Gets to the end. Next film. So the next film that we did was called The Promise. Again, I did the editing on this. There really wasn't too much to edit in terms of like effects wise, just again mainly color grading. That's what these first two films seem to be. So we start in quite a dark room where it's a bit orange, and I feel that with the first few shots, because obviously it's a room with mostly wood, it's quite eggshell walls, so it was a bit harder to make look blue. But I feel like it suits it more since it's not like a bright white room that has a orange hue to it. It's just the room itself. It's quite dark, quite shadowy, obviously since they fell asleep. And when you look at it, it's not too orange. The sunlight coming from the window gives it a nice piece of natural lighting. Yeah, there wasn't too much to do on this film. I do like it. It's see the colouring in this bar scene, that's quite orange, but most pubs did it like that, so I don't think they had any lights on them, so And then outside scenes, not sure about the lighting used since I wasn't there for filming. Let's skip forward a bit. So I worked on the music with Jude in this part for when he was walking to go to the bus, mainly just because I have a music studio I work at and it's quite easy to do stuff like that there. Did also do that for the first film. And yeah, like I said, for this film there's not much aside from color grading, a bit of music, like some quick cuts to make it, the drinking scene, seem a bit like quicker, obviously. And then yeah, he just leaves. Next film. So the third film is when we started to get most, well, when I, the editor, got more like creative freedom, because this third film, Broken, was made to be quite a weird, trippy video. Not too trippy, but just weird and unsettling, which is my favorite type of film to edit, since you can do like a lot of stuff. So the location we used was an antique shop, which Ollie knew the owner of, so we could go see him and use that, which was very lucky. There's a bit of overacting in some of the scenes, like, I think that's just like, he's not really an actor, so it's quite fine. But most of the acting he does is quite good because it's actually what he does, since he's looking at the watch, it's what he's actually doing. Got some nice setup figures, some butterfly. And so this has a bit more of an orange feel, but it like suits the antique shop feeling. Like, it would be a bit weird if it had a blue hue to it. And so I forgot what lens we used to film these shots, but we got some nice close-ups. So this guy comes in, and that, play it again quickly, because it's quite quick. That was the first weird piece. So we had skulls. We had a skull that we took some video of just because it's good Foley footage, just in case you need to like make it a bit longer. So these pictures are actually of World War II Russians in gas masks, mainly because I got quite a Russian feeling off this guy, mainly because of the gas masks. So I thought, if we're gonna make him like a weird person, like, I'm not sure how to describe him really, like I don't know, just a thing, I kind of wanted to put some visual hints towards that, so I have the Russians in gas masks. Next film. So this is Inverted. This is the most recent project we did. It's only a minute long, but it was quite fun. I enjoy the way Daniel edited it as well, since there were less people, so we got 2 editors. Very good, I think. And there's a lot of weird, flashy, cutty editing in this, which I also love. Like those worms. Then the part where he's walking through the forest, and he like fizzes in and out. I like that a lot. There's a good use of color because it's all quite green, and then when it cuts, it goes to red. And the forest was very good for this. It looks weird, desolate, lonely. I love it personally. It's something I like. Not the most complex film in terms of editing, but I still like it. Some of the scenes you can see the leaves overlapping each other because the opacity was just turned down. It wasn't like masked out. That would have been better, but you can't really tell if you're just watching it. I like it quite a lot, but I'd still say Broken is my favorite film that we've made so far. And that's all the films.